Fine. And whoever has the turn today may start reading the next topic.
So my Wi-Fi is a little spotty, so can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, my camera might cut out, so I apologize in advance if that happens. Okay. Not absence, but disappearance. Sri Vallabhacharya does not accept the doctrine of abhav propounded by the Nayadvas. As Brahm himself, the very form of indestructible, immortal truth, has resulted into the form of the universe, it's but natural that the universe may also be undestructible reality. Now, if the universe be the reality, how can there be the destruction and absence of the universe and the objects of the universe? Hence, the absence of the universe does not take place at all. What happens is only the disappearance. So we talked a little bit about this yesterday as well, but basically what this paragraph is trying to say is that Sri Mahaprabhuji does not fully believe in abhav, or the full absence of any material on this universe, because that's not possible, because every material in this universe was created from the Sat attribute of Pram, and as Raja mentioned yesterday, Pram is absolute reality, and similar to energy, he cannot be created nor destroyed. So therefore, anything created from a set attribute can also not be created or destroyed, and is instead just appearing and disappearing, as this paragraph mentions. Another word for this is Tirobhav and Abhirvav, which is concealment and unconcealment. So an overall summarization of all of these ideas is due to Pram's Sat attribute. Everything in this universe cannot be created nor destroyed, and instead is only concealed or unconcealed, according to Sri Mahaprabhuji.
So as we learned yesterday, that in the theory of Nyaya, they accept the abhav. Abhav will mean the absence of any material. So the absence means that absolute absence of some material. Here, as we understood that according to Sri Mahaprabhuji, the universe is created out of Sat attribute of Brahma. The Sat attribute of Brahma results in the form of multiple objects of the universe. So the universe is not different from Brahma, and Brahma himself is the material and efficient cause for the universe. So what Sri Mahaprabhuji wants to say is that if Brahma himself is the material of the universe, and the universe is created out of the Sat attribute of Brahma, nothing can be asat. It means no sort of absence is possible of any material. So as Brahma exists forever, same way the whole universe exists in the form of universe forever. What happens is that just when Bhagavan wants to reveal the universe, when Bhagavan wants to reveal all the Nama Rupa Karma, or the name, form and functions of the universe, Bhagavan reveals them in the form of universe. And during the pralaya, or the final destruction, when Bhagavan wants to conceal everything in his infinite form, then the whole universe again conceals in the form of Bhagavan. So what happens is just the manifestation and concealment. It means Bhagavan reveals it, and Bhagavan again conceals it. So what happens is just revelation and concealation, and not absence, as the Nyaya wants to accept. The difference between our theory and their is that in the theory of Nyaya, what they accept is that the universe and Brahma are different. It means Brahma is just like a potter. As a potter uses the clay and provides the shape to the clay, same way Brahma uses the materials and creates the universe. It means Brahma is just a creator and not the material cause. And therefore, theoretically, they accept that the absence of the material of this universe is possible. But for Mahaprabhuji, even material cause is Brahma. So when material is Brahma himself, we cannot accept the absence of any material.
Should I continue?
Yeah, you may.
Okay. Here it is necessary to understand the difference between abhav and tirobhav. According to the Naya theory, abhav means the destruction of the existence, whereas tirobhav doesn't mean the destruction of existence. It can be defined as follows. If an object which holds existence does not manifest in its karya effect, or if it is not experienced even though it exists, it means that it has just disappeared. For example, if the water is heated for a long time, at a certain point of time, the vessel will become empty and dry. The Nayavadis may say that it is abhav, or total absence of existence of water. The water has ceased to exist. Have a little consideration of this point. Is the water really destroyed by boiling it? No. The existence of the water is not lost, but it has only been transformed into vapor. Now the water has resulted into the form of vapor. The object which exists can never have the destruction, abhav, of its existence. In the above example, according to Sri Vallabhacharya, it is not abhav of water, but tirobhav, just disappearance of it because of changing the form from liquid form to gaseous. Along with the evaporation, the functions of the water, such as those bathing, drinking, bringing, fetching, etc., and attributes of the coolness, liquidy, etc., too, do not remain manifest. They turn into disappearance or lie hidden. Hence the water cannot be seen now as it was seen before. Thus what happens is tirobhav, the disappearance of water, and not its abhav, the total absence. We can have the greatest evidence of this fact if the vapor of the boiling water is collected and filled in some empty vessel, and that vessel is placed in cool atmosphere, or if cold water is poured upon that closed vessel. We can again obtain water by this process. Now think that if abhav, the loss of water, occurs, how can we obtain that water again? From it is proved that what exists can never be lost or destroyed. Even common usages of words too, such as the cloth is burnt into ashes, the pot is broken into shreds, earth in pieces, the ice got converted into water, and the petrol is burnt into smoke, support the view that it is not the absence of existence, but the disappearance of object because of the changed form. The modern science too holds trust in this principle that the existence of any sort of energy is not lost. The whole universe is charged with the energy. The kinds of energy keep changing, but the form of energy remains as it is. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It can just to transform to one form from another form. From this we can understand that no object can have its total absence, but it can have just disappearance. Now we shall understand from the viewpoint of Vallabh doctrine the refutation of four kinds of abhavs as conceived by the Naya theory. So this paragraph focuses on differentiating tirobhav and abhav. So the main difference between them is that abhav means destruction of existence or the absence, while tirobhav just means concealment or disappearance. And many examples are provided in this paragraph, one being the idea of water and it being changed into a vapor. So they say that the form is changing because it goes from a liquid form to a gas form, but that doesn't mean that the water itself was destroyed, it just means that the form was changing. And they also bring up the point of energy again and help explain it by saying that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, which is a law in science, and this helps prove the idea that nothing in this world or this universe can be fully destroyed. It can only be disappeared or be hidden.
So Mahaprabhuji doesn't support the theory of abhav. It means, as per Sri Mahaprabhuji, total absence of any material is not at all possible. nothing can be destroyed completely. As in this example, we understood that when we boil the water continuously, the water changes its form from liquid to the gaseous, and the water turns itself into the form of vapor, water vapor. So in the vessel in which we were boiling the water, we don't find the water, but it doesn't mean that water has been destroyed. It has just disappeared, or it doesn't remain visible anymore to us. But actually, no sort of absence is ever possible, because all the objects just change their form. They appear in one form to another, but the total absence of any material is not possible in the theory of Brahmavad, and not even in our modern experience and the theories, as even we accept that even science accepts that energy can never be destroyed. It just changes its form from one to the another form. So the form are changes, and the problem is that, for example, we are not able to see the gaseous form. It means it doesn't remain visible to us, and just because of the lack of visibility, we feel that water is lost. But actually, it doesn't remain visible to us in our form or in which we can see it. But for example, if we collect the vapor in another vessel, and when we condense it, again we will be having the water. So this is how Mahaprabhuji accepts the theory of Tirobhav. It means nothing can be lost. We can never have absence of any material. A material or any of the object just changes its form. So here, as we are seeing that the solid, liquid and gaseous states are changing, same way, according to Sri Mahaprabhuji, when Bhagavan wants to conceal the universe, all the universal objects return into the form of the causal form, their causal form, and when Bhagavan wants to create it, again they reveal themselves in the form of an effect. So just like the changes of the solid, liquid and gaseous state, same way here we are checking the format of universe in the form of its causal form and in the form of an. So technically, we are not supporting the theory. We are not supporting the theory of abhav, the total absence, but just it is about the concealment or the absence of any material is just like the changing its form from one form to the another. Sometimes it gets visible to us. For example, the ice is changing its form into the liquid form and becomes water. In this process, the change of the form is visible to us. But in the process of the liquid form to the gaseous, the change of the state is not visible to us. But it doesn't mean that the object is missing or the object has been destroyed. This is how Mahaprabhuji wants to explain the theory of Tirobhav. All of you, please may hold for a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. If there are any questions regarding this, you people may ask.
So I had a question.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is like about the Mayavadis. So they give us all these examples in the text about like water and vapor or energy. So how do the Mayavadis like counter that? I guess because like science says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So do they just not believe that, or do they just like not believe that water is like its form is changing? Do they think that water is physically being destroyed, or like how do they have an answer for that?
See, the problem with them is that they accept the theory of Arambhavad, as we learned before. And in the theory of Arambhavad, they don't accept the change of forms. As in the example of Kheer, we had understood that according to them, the Kheer is not the result of any single material. It means if we have the rice and the milk and the sugar with us, we cannot prepare the kheer, or the rice, milk and sugar itself are not kheer. So when you just boil it out properly, they will be resulting into the form of the kheer. So in this example, what they say is that according to us, if we use this example, we would say that the kheer is prepared out of the rice, milk and sugar, and in the process of boiling, they are just changing their forms. It means only the forms of the objects are getting changed. Nothing else is happening in the process in which we are accepting that the universe will be created out of the Brahma. If Arambhavad, as per the theory of Arambhavad in Nyaya, what they would say is that, for example, if the kheer is created out of the sugar, milk and rice, again, it is not the parinam, it is not the result. According to them, it will be a new beginning. It means something new will be created out of it, but the old one is not getting destroyed in this process. So, as per them, the changes are, the forms don't change, but continuously it will be a new beginning. Something new is getting created each and every moment. So the old one is not related to what it was before. This is the basic difference, and therefore they don't accept Parinamvad, they accept Arambhavad. So in the theory of Parinamvad, we accept that the cause will be transforming or resulting in the form of the result. But in the theory of Nyaya, what they accept is that the forms are not changed. Each and every moment a new material is created, because the old one and the new one are different from each other. When you cannot say that the rice itself or the kheer, it is created out of the rice, sugar and milk, because something new is created. It is not related with the old one. This is what the theory of Nyaya accepts. And therefore, they don't accept the theory of transformation. According to them, each and every moment, something new is being created. For example, in the example of our cell, just consider it out, that as per science, new cells are created in our body each and every moment. Now, we feel that we are the same. It means I am the same person since my birth, and I will be remaining the same always. It means I am just getting into the young age and from childhood to the old age. So as per our theory, we are the same. Because of the aging, my form is going on changing. But Nyaya doesn't accept this. According to Nyaya, in my body, the old cells are getting destroyed, the new cells are being created. So the continuously all the things are changing in my body. So ultimately, I am not the one as I was before. So everything is changing. Something new is being created in me all the time, and therefore I don't remain the same as I was before. This is what the theory of Nyaya is.
So the Nye don't believe in science, like they don't believe that energy can't be created nor destroyed, and they don't believe like ideas about cells. Like, do they just not believe in science entirely?
No, they don't. Technically, the philosophy of Nyaya is 3,000 years old. It is not a modern theory. So they are older and the science is modern. I don't want to say that they are right, but the thing is that this theory was propagated by them before 3,000 years old. So naturally, their thoughts are different, and it is quite obvious that at that time, the sort of experience which we are having right now was not possible for everyone. It means people didn't used to have different type of objects around them, and the difference of experience was not even possible at that time. The things which we are able to observe, experience, or experiment nowadays were not possible in those days. So possibly they have such thought because of that.
Sorry for another question, but the Vedas are also very old too, right? Like, I don't know how many years, but they're also old, but we don't have any ideas that contradict science, right?
Yes, it is true. But the problem with Nyaya is that they don't want to accept that the universe is created out of Brahma. That's the main issue. And if the universe is distinct from Brahma, then out of compulsion they will have to negate the theory of Avirbhav Tirobhav and accept the theory of Abhav. It gets necessary because how will you accept the theory of concealment and revelation without accepting Brahma as the material cause?
Okay, I understand now. Thank you, Raja.
I also want to clarify. I don't understand how we can apply the concept of Avirbhav and Tirobhav to the example of the pot being destroyed in the example of the pot being transformed into the shattered pieces. How can Avirbhav and Tirobhav apply to this?
See, in this example, the pot was created out of the clay, and when the pot is destroyed, it again gets back into the form of the clay. So pot in the form of the pot is not existing. It means we have lost the form, we have lost the shape. But the material, the clay out of which the pot was created is with us, even after the destruction of the pot.
Okay, Ji Raja.
As in the example of ice, water and vapor, it is changing its form from liquid to solid and from the solid to gaseous, or in any of the way. Same way, in the process of cause being resulting into the form of effect is the same. It means the cause will be changing its form into the form of the effect, and when destroyed, the effect again will be changing itself into the form of the cause. Sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible. For example, when a dead body is burnt down, we find the ashes, because in our body we have the earth, we have water, we have sky, the space, we have the air, and we do even have the fire. These are the 5 elements, Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu and Akash, out of which our body is created. Now the ashes which remain with us are the remains of Prithvi, the earth element. Water from the body gets evaporated, the air from the body will merge into the air in the environment. The space again will be in the form of the space, outer space, and the fire again, it will be one with the fire which we used in the cremation process. So in the form of the ashes, we will be having the earthen element back. So all the other 4 elements are not visible, but actually they have returned to their causal form and are not visible in the form of the effect. But what Mahaprabhuji will say is that it means the total absence of the human body is not possible, just it has changed from the effect to the form of the cause. Sometimes, as in the example of pot, we can see the clay out of which it was created. We will be having the powdered form of the clay again after the pot is destroyed. But in the example of body, we cannot find, or all the 5 elements are not visible to us. But it doesn't mean that the human body or the object is destroyed totally. It has just changed its form.
Ji Raja, thank you.
Is that clear? Fine. In the next topic, one by one, we will be having the answers from Mahaprabhuji for all the 4 above. So the concept will be more clear after that. Let us conclude here for today. We'll be continuing tomorrow.